I'm Ivan Vet. I represent Adient P-Pather Capital. Just to talk about our success story with Cispro. Adient P-Pather Capital, we are a steel seat structure manufacturer in the automotive space. We specialize in the welding, painting, and assembly of steel, metal, or steel seat structures for the automotive business in both South Africa and for the export market. We currently produce in excess of 800,000 structures annually. We are situated in Port Elizabeth in the Eastern Cape, where we employ about 530 people in our production facility. If we look at where we were, Adient P-Pather Capital, or Adient PPC, was formed in 2016 through the acquisition of an existing automotive component manufacturer. All the systems were taken over from this acquisition, which included a legacy ERP system. At the time, the supply chain was managed via Excel, and this resulted in excess air freights and production stoppages because of a lack of planning and a phenomenal growth that we experienced between 2016 and 2018 of about 40% in our market share. And with hindsight, we always look at this to say, it's funny to say that we came from a place where all our purchasing was done by Excel and ended up with almost 40 Mexican nationals with hand-carried bags coming to South Africa with parts on it. But this was the reality that we had to face. And in 2018, we had to make a move in order to improve the situation. At the time, we selected Cispro to replace our legacy ERP, and our partner was iPlan. They came in, we did a full business process analysis, and I think just to touch on what Doug was saying, that it's one thing to take a system and automate things, but if the discipline and the business process is not there to support it, you will be automating incorrect information or incorrect processes. We then identified the key risk areas. Being in the automotive space, all our focus was on production. And I would almost say that this is still the case, but we had to look to the future and say, well, where are we going? And if we look at the business that we are in, where 97% of our components are imported, we said that supply chain is a critical area for this business, and some would even say that we are almost a logistics company. And therefore we had to look at the modules, and we said, well, MRP is a must. The bill of material must be used, and work in progress must be used. We also looked at landed cost tracking, or LCT, and even though personally, I do not think that we use it to the correct extent or to the full extent that Cispro designed this module. This has become invaluable to our business. And those are the main modules that we look at when we look at controlling and optimizing our business. During the implementation process, we did 1 month's worth of parallel run. We did a lot of hand-holding. I think what was critical was to get the buy-in from the users. We unfortunately had a staff complement that was very much entrenched in the legacy ERP, and it was all about changing the mindset of the people so that they can trust the system, they work in the new system, and move forward in creating a better environment to benefit themselves. When we look at the return on investment, I don't think that was in the form or in the front of our decision making when we decided to look at at changing to Cispro. But we immediately saw the benefit in that we basically eliminated all premium freight as a result of bad planning. That was changed within, I would say, 6 months of implementing Cispro. We have full visibility of the on-hand availability, our costing system, and all these are just benefits that work together in bringing us a improved business solution. If we look at, and just to focus a bit on the supply chain at ADM PPC, 97% of our goods or our raw material or components are imported from Europe and Asia, with an average of 9 weeks from collection to in-plant. And again, being in the automotive space, like Doug said, that we tend to have almost a stable frame that we work within, because our customer builds a vehicle for between 3 and 7 years. So we have an idea of what they will do for the next 7 years. However, this has changed quite considerably during the COVID pandemic, where we were notified less than 24 hours before work stoppages at our customers. This then creates a backlog demand where customers actually require you to keep this raw material or product available for them in case they want to build this out. Obviously, this has a big impact on our inventory holding. And again, it comes back to the management of the supply chain and the visibility within the supply chain. To this fact that we have to build up trust with our supply base, and also our service providers, being our freight forwarder, with whom we have regular meetings, where we look at what is actually happening within the supply chain. We have the war in Ukraine. This is done this has changed the way that some of our suppliers are moving their production. So where we used to pick up a product in Hungary, now it's being produced in Poland, or vice versa. In China, we have the no or zero COVID policy being implemented by government, where they are putting large areas of China under lockdown, even for a very small outbreak, and what effect this has on shipping. All these factors need to be monitored quite closely with our service provider, and fed back into Cispro. If we look at the supply chain within Cispro, we get a release via EDI into Cispro. It goes into our forecasting model. It updates our blanket purchase orders. We then send off a release to our customer or to our supplier via EDI. This happens once a week, and if we do not have a handle or a insight into what is happening, it is very easy to be in an overstock or a understock situation. What we've done in order to mitigate some of these risks with our service provider, we've come up with some specific reports that we use on SSRS, where we want to only use information within Cispro, and Cispro being the only source of our truth in our business. To say that if I look at my supply chain, the report gives us a 7-week forward look, which tells me exactly what ship is on the way, where it is, when is the estimated time of arrival in South Africa. Based on this, a proactive decision can be made in order to air freight. Whereas in the past, it was a reactive decision to say, oh, my plant is stopping tomorrow, I need to air freight, and then it needs to be a flash air freight. Now it is more a decision of the ship is stuck in Las Palmas for 3 weeks. What are we going to do? What is the cheapest? What is the most cost-effective way to get a replacement part into South Africa? And I think this is the critical part, that we need to have this visibility built up from our suppliers, our service providers, our customers, where we look at this to say, from a holistic point of view, what options are available? How do we feed this back into our model? Go back to the master data within Syspro. What are our lead time setup? What is our EBQ setup? To manage this on an ongoing basis in order to achieve efficiency and also the most effective way of bringing the stock into South Africa. When it arrives in South Africa, we use our work in progress module from a planning point of view for production. Jobs are created, jobs are receipted, and goods are shipped into our customers, which is, like I said, in South Africa, but also on an export basis. If we then look at, through the use of Syspro, we've been able to improve our, the areas that we focus on is cost reduction, on-hand availability, and deliverability. With cost being not only the cost of landing the goods here, but also how do we track the cost in production, our production being our availability of our parts in our work in progress, and then also the availability of parts being sent out to our customer. These controls are being monitored on an ongoing basis, and we report on this also through KPIs that we set up on a weekly basis with our logistics department. The way forward for ADM PPC and Syspro is to look at warehouse management. I think a couple of people have mentioned that now before. And also to get integration with our third-party logistics provider. If we look at where the automotive industry is going in South Africa, we have to take into consideration what is the effect of electric vehicles, what is the effect of production going forward in South Africa. We have a situation where some of our export markets are banning the use of internal combustion engines from the year 2030. What impact will that have on the 7 automotive manufacturers in South Africa? Are they changing their models? How are they going to communicate these changes to the supply base? And I think this is where it becomes so critical that we have the collaboration between our customers, our suppliers, and also our service providers in how do we utilize data and the technology that we have available in order to achieving a greater visibility within the supply chain. Thank you. That is me, nice and short.